All right, here we go with a new painting process video. This time it's again for my project Dawn. So I wanted to this time draw two characters. We have Dawn, the main character, and a possible mecha design of a robot. I'm starting here with Dawn. To be fair, I wasn't too sure where I was going with this. I just had a simple idea in my mind, so I'm making decisions as I go along. But before I continue, I'd like to say a thank you to my patrons on Patreon. I have to say I love Patreon because it really gives me motivation to continue. You know, knowing that some people are interested in my work and can go as far as giving some support, even if it's just $1 a month or something. It just means a lot to me. I love having this support. It really motivates me to try to spend a bit of time as much as possible on this project. So the projects are moving slowly. Obviously, I'm not doing much every month because I have a life. I have things to do. But there you go. Having some patrons helping me allows me to make sure I have more time, because I love to share a bit of my work, and yeah, well, that's it. It's just a great motivational thing. So thanks again, guys. So here I'm sketching Dawn again. I like to have that kind of suit. Sort of jacket, or a bit old-fashioned top, but I love those. Here's slightly different design. She's got a helmet this time. The idea is that she's portrayed here as a pilot, as a robot pilot. So I just wanted to have fun. So the idea here is that she's piloting some sort of ball game robot. So here we go. I'm sketching it right now. This is directly inspired from one of the previous animations I've done, one of the recent ones. I don't know if you remember, there's an animation where there's a robot walking and Dawn is standing on the hand of that robot. So it's a very big robot, very large. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm reusing this idea. I'm starting from the robot design, and I'm reinventing it a little bit here. I'm changing quite a few things, particularly the shoulders, as you'll see. That sort of thing. But again, I don't have a pre-designed thing in my mind at this point. I'm just sketching around, trying to find some nice shapes. And if I don't like a line, I just remove it. I'll try another line here or there, and that's kind of how it goes. You could draw, you start drawing not knowing where you're going, and then finding out as you do it. That's the way the brain works sometimes. It just reacts to things, and less planning allows you to end into positions where you never thought you would go to, you know. So there you go. But here I also wanted to try something else, and you will see it's particularly with the colors. I try to do the colors as fast as I can. I try to work fast, but I know I'm not really fast. I mean, the whole thing here is going to it's taken me more than 3 hours to do. So I know some people could do faster, but I'm still trying to find ways to be a bit more productive. I don't care much about having something perfectly finished and in every detail. I'm more interested in creating an atmosphere and having enough design or details to be convinced that it works, that it's there. But I'm not the kind of artist who like to add tons of details and make it super realistic. So here I'm going to try a coloring process. It's going to be maybe strange, but just the idea is to try to be faster again. So you know how probably a lot of you know how it's time consuming to just fill in the colors in a character. It's just go over, make sure you don't go over the lines and whatnot. So I was trying to think about a way to do that would not involve having to be so precise. So the idea here is that I'm not actually going to color the whole characters. I'm only going to show the color where the characters get hit by the light. So if their part of their bodies is not really bright because it doesn't receive much light. I'm going to keep it basically just grey, a uniform grey, and wherever the light hits the character, then the color will transpire through the light. That's the idea. So that basically you will know the color of the character only if it's lit up properly, otherwise it will look grey. And you might think that's strange, but as a matter of fact, that's pretty much to some extent how the eye works. You know, if you're looking at a night scene, for example, you can see less of the colors. So if it's dark, the colors are less clear to our eyes. There was a time also when cameras, video cameras maybe, but also normal cameras actually, when I think about it, if you take old photographs, sometimes you'll notice that a color appear where the parts of the photograph are quite light and well lit, and then parts of the photograph where it's dark, you'll see that the colors kind of disappear. It becomes some sort of black and white picture. And that, I think the eye I've noticed that the eye doesn't seem to be too bothered by that kind of thing. So if you have less colors in the darks, it doesn't look too strange. And by using that principle, I thought maybe I'll just put colors where the light is, and that'll mean I will be spending less time coloring. That's the idea. So here I am. I'm doing here the second pass. Usually I do a first pass of really sort of sketchy character, and then I just double or triple the size of the image, and then refine the lines. The reason I work as a low res when I do the first sketch is because I don't want to go into too many details. That's the thing. I want that not to be in a situation where if I zoom in, then suddenly I can just start adding details here and there, because when you first sketch, you want to just get the whole idea, the general gesture of the drawing. So I force myself to still be loose, to stay loose, by having a low res sketch. So it's usually about 1,000 pixels high, and that's it. So that means that as soon as you zoom in a little bit, you'll see the pixels, and so that stops you from adding too many details too early. That's the idea. And then once I'm happy with the general lines, then I increase the resolution, and then I can go into a few more details. And then you'll realize that you don't need to add details everywhere. You'll just add details where they matter. Often, for me, it's the face, because you want to get the right expression, or the right details in the face, or the hands, because I find that the hands can be quite expressive. But if you find that the knees or the elbows or the shoulders don't need much details, but then don't bother with it. Why should you? You know, if the eye is actually not drawn towards the elbow or the shoulder, maybe there's no point adding more details then. So that's how I try to do things. I try to save time to be more efficient, to generate an image, an idea. So here we go. You can see here now the colors are being placed. And it's actually pretty quick. I didn't spend much time doing this, but you can see the colors only where the light is, and here I'm trying different transparency, different values to try see what looks nice. I also added some color here. You can see it in the backlight, in the rim light of the character, just adding a bit of blue light, because just that is okay. That, to me, that kind of coloring is okay. It's quick to add a bit of light from the back. So there you go. So I also added the highlights. As you can see, it's not just the colors, it's also the highlights, but the highlights I kept them white, just white on top of the color. Here I'm messing about with the colors, trying to see again what would work better. So I'm trying to find a general gray that would work. It has to be slightly dark enough so that the areas that are lit up will look like they are lit up and not just of the same intensity. Now I'm going back to the robot, and I'm gonna do this a bit differently, but it's pretty much the same idea though. I'm actually going to color each bits properly, and then remove the color if you want. It's just because I'm testing something else, another way to do it. But there you go. Here, this first red layer was just to get the outline right. Now I'm placing the colors. But you see, that's exactly the kind of thing I don't want to be doing all the time. That takes time. That's just it's it's okay to do, but it's not fun. You want to be, you want your creativity to be used as much as possible, and not waste time in doing just basic tasks that are just time consuming. So I'm still doing it here, but I guess maybe because it's quite simple in this case, and I didn't mind. So here we go. I'm just choosing 3 colors: white, light grey, and orange, and the blacks are of course from the line, so that's 4 colors, and then a little bit of blue for the ball. I don't know what the ball is made of, to be fair. At this point I have no idea. It could be a ball made of energy, it could be a metal ball, it could be heavy, it could be light, it could be bouncy or not. I have no idea. I don't know what the sport is about, whether it's I have no idea, to be fair. It could be some sort of volleyball or handball or football or whatever you want. At this stage I don't really care, but it'd be nice to have that sort of thing. I'm thinking that main character Dawn could be could have several sides to her. You know, she could be I imagine her as a strong woman, so I think she could have an interest in developing his physical abilities. So here we go. You can see how the color has disappeared in places for the robot, because I just went ahead and decided that the color would only be seen where the light hits, and if the light doesn't hit the character, then it's just gray. And again here I add the just this rim light of blue, and you can see it's not really too disturbing, is it, to actually see that you've got the orange in some parts and the rest of the parts that are orange just look now grey. But it's not so confusing. It's fine. The eyes can actually accept that as it is. Here I'm adding a few more highlights, just to make it a bit shiny and glossy. So here we go. I think it's pretty much it at this point. I'm gonna just touch some details here and there. I think I'm just thickening the outline here to make it a bit clearer, because I didn't do a really good job at cleaning this poor robot, I gotta say. But it was just good enough, so we'll go with that. I'm adding here some just drop shadow for the feet. There you go. And now I'd like to add some background. So honestly, I had no idea what sort of background I would have when I started drawing this. So I thought, oh well, maybe it could be that they're just getting ready to get on the field or something like this. So they're looking outside from inside the stadium, or some, I don't know, some facility that they're sitting in, or maybe the workshop where they build the robot or something like that, and they're just looking out towards the outdoors. So that's why the light would be coming in from the left, and maybe some blue light would be coming in from the workshop on the right hand side. So here I'm just trying things out, thinking, oh yeah, it could be nice to have some industrial look to it, with some sort of, or maybe slightly organic structure, a bit like if there was giant belly of some giant robotic animal. So these could look like ribs, if you want, something like that. That's kind of what I was thinking as I was doing it. But really, there's no, it doesn't go any beyond that. I just I don't know yet what this background could actually really be in the story, but it'll find its place at some point, or maybe not. Maybe I'll just come up with something else later. Here I'm adding just some noise and some shift of colors, just to give it a bit of the whole thing a bit of, so that it doesn't look too flat or too boring. It's just a cheap way to make the picture more interesting. That's it, really. Adding some shifts of colors. I've got some textures that I use a lot. If you download the PSD file, you'll have those textures within the PSD file, so that's something you could use. I like to add some effects as well. I think it gives a bit of depth to a picture. So here I am, you can see me painting here some light effects, some lens flares, some particles floating about, and it looks cool. I'm happy with that. And I know I do that a lot. Maybe you'd think it's cheap, but I think it looks cool. And here you got some just slight effects or lens effect on the edges of this picture. So there you go. If you want to see me do more of those, feel free, if you're not a patron already, feel free to go to patreon.com/Sykosan or to gumroad.com/Sykosan if you just want to download the files. So that means the PSD file with all the layers that you've seen me working on, they will all be there. They will just be for like $1.